Hello once again. I am John Lonardo III, here today with our 12th devotional on the Sermon on the Mount. If you see me looking over to my right today, I apologize. My printer is not operating correctly, so I was not able to print out my notes, so I have them pulled up on a second computer, so I might have to turn to look at the notes. But today, we're in one verse in Matthew chapter 5. That is verse number 41. And even though this is one verse, there's still a lot to get out of it. So let's dive right in. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. So today we are discussing unlimited service. That's the topic for today. And there's a lot that can be unpacked, and we're going to start with Jesus saying that we will be compelled by others. It's going to happen. If you work in the secular world, odds are your boss is an unbeliever. Your boss is unsaved. So we have our duties at our jobs, and we should be going the extra mile. We do this for numerous reasons. One, because Christ is a servant, we are also called to be servants as Christians. But number two is to show our boss who Jesus is to point towards him. And we work hard and go the extra mile at work to preserve our testimony. And there is a little word here which we tend to gloss over and not dwell on the magnitude of the statement. That word is whosoever. This does not say fellow believers, unbelievers, people in need. This says whosoever. So that includes all those demographics I just stated, plus every other group of people. This is even more important, though, to do around unbelievers, because if we cannot preserve our testimony around unbelievers, and they see no difference between us and them, why are they going to want to go to church? Christians, we are called to be like Christ. Christ served, so we must serve as well. Those around us have needs. We are not to only fill that need, but go even further in helping and walking with them. It is important to give food to someone who is hungry. But it is more important because if we give food to that person who's hungry, they're going to hunger again. They're going to be in need of food again. It would be even better if we can help them find a way to sustain themselves and be able to get their own food. But even then, they might have their stomachs filled, and they might be able to fill their own stomachs, so they don't have to depend on someone else to give them food. But they still aren't saved. So it is an even greater way to fill that need of them by introducing them to Jesus and witnessing to them so that they might be saved and be able to have a relationship with the Creator. But it's going to be difficult for us to get people to listen to us if we don't serve their other needs first or at the same time. If they trust us, they are more likely to trust the one who sent us. The final point that I have for you today, you will only find in the King James Bible. This is something where in modern translations, you're not going to be able to see this because it's just flat out taken out. But and right now I'm talking about the these and thous, which you only see in the King James. In the Greek language, they have singular and plural pronouns. In English, we don't have those. So what the translators of the King James Bible did, to be honest to how the manuscripts were written, they used thee, thy, thine, or they used thou, thee, thy, and thine. Those four were singular pronouns. And for the plural pronouns, they used ye, you, your, and yours. And all of those also have different things to do in terms of like the subject and all other sorts of grammar, English, class style stuff. But the main focus we're on right here is if it begins with a T, that is a singular pronoun. If it begins with a Y, then that's plural. So what does Jesus use here? And whosoever shall compel thee. So Jesus is not talking to everyone as a group here. He's not talking to all the people who are at that sermon, or all the people of one nation, or all people who follow him. He's talking to each individual hearer individually, not just the people who were there that day when he spoke, but everyone who has read those words from that moment to this moment and everywhere in between. He's making it personal. He's saying specifically you, specifically me. And this also means that because it's directed at each of us individually, we are each individually accountable for this. So let's say you do not abide by this. I cannot then say, because you did not abide by this, I don't have to. Because just because one person doesn't abide by what this is saying doesn't mean another person is exempt. This is my responsibility, your responsibility, everyone's responsibility. And just because you didn't do it doesn't mean I'm not held to the standard. If one person obeys or does not obey, in this instance, it does not affect the obligation to adhere of another. So much can be unpacked from one verse in Scripture. There is a lot more that can be consumed and said about this verse, but I'm going to end it right here for today. Tomorrow we will return to the Sermon on the Mount. I hope this passage helped you today, and I hope that you can now see the way in which we are to serve. And if this style of service, of going further than what is asked or expected, if this does not describe you, Christian, I pray that you will see these words and adhere to them, and follow God and serve God by serving others, because that is what He has called us to do. I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless you.